everybody. This is Jordan McConnell. Thank you for joining me for episode 2 of my podcast, Crohn's Veteran. You have earned your stripes. So happy to be here. Today's episode is talking about smoking, tobacco, and its effect with Crohn's disease. And so this is a topic that's near and dear to me. I am in week 3 of quitting smoking tobacco, and I'm about 1 week out from quitting altogether. And so this show is actually an exercise to help me stay quit, and kind of speak on some of the issues with Crohn's disease, being an African American, and also and just some facts and hopefully some valuable information that you guys can take home with you here. And so mainly, so to start out here, just some quick tips and facts about smoking in the United States. More than 16 million Americans are living with a disease that's caused by smoking. And for every person who dies because of smoking, at least 30 people live with a serious smoking-related illness. And before I go any further, I'm getting all this information from the CDC website, cdc.gov, and I will put that in the notes of the podcast as well, and also any other resources that I speak on will be included in the description and the speaker notes later too. So also, worldwide, smoking kills more than 7 million people a year. By the year 2030, if things don't change, that will go up to 8 million people a year. And in the United States, that number is about 480,000 people. And so, as a dad myself, one of my biggest drivers to quit smoking was to break a pattern. I'm a third generation smoker, as far as I know, and the last thing I would like is for my son to continue on that trend. And so so when he hears this, he can definitely know that smoking is terrible, and you should never pick it up in the first place. And also to anybody else out there too, never ever pick up smoking. And it's an expensive habit. So also, yeah, speaking of the expense, the total economic cost of smoking is more than $300 billion a year. And nearly $170 billion of that is in direct medical care for adults. And so even with me, my thing was that I started smoking when I was, I think, 19, cigarettes, and so you can just think about that $4 or $5 of a pack every couple of days, and then sometimes I would buy cartons and things of that nature. And so just even besides the health aspect of smoking, the expense of it, just hundreds if not thousands of dollars a year that could be used to do a lot more healthy, fun things for yourself and for your family and for your bank account. And so when it comes to Crohn's disease, unfortunately, smoking is one of the worst things for Crohn's disease in particular. And I smoked for about 20 years, and so when I was diagnosed, I was 14 years old, so that was before I picked up smoking, and I picked up smoking. And so I picked up smoking, I said, about 19 years old, like I said. And so now, and some of the things that I wish I had known, or actually I did know, some of these things about Crohn's disease and smoking, but the addiction was just too strong. And so now I'm in a better place to quit and quit and stay quit. And so for anybody that's out there with Crohn's disease that's currently smoking, you can know that according to the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation out of the United Kingdom, they say that the relationship between smoking and Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis is complex. Pretty much, the studies and science out there is saying that people who smoke are more likely to develop Crohn's disease, and that and also the severity of the disease can increase as a result of smoking. But in contrast, ulcerative colitis patients are less likely to develop Crohn's disease, or less likely to develop colitis. But of course, that's not exactly a positive thing because smoking still has a ton of negative aspects on the body. Um, and so now some of the adverse effects of smoking tobacco. Um, that if you're also have Crohn's disease, you may experience more severe symptoms and complications such as strictures or narrowing in the bowel that can cause dangerous blockages. You're more likely to develop fistulas or abnormal passageways in the body that can require surgery. More flare-ups can require immunosuppressant drugs, such as biologics like Remicade that I am on, as an example. Um, and sometimes the Crohn's treatments may not be as effective if you smoke along with them, and are more likely to need surgery and to have to return for additional surgeries, and also you're more likely to develop extraintestinal manifestations of Crohn's disease, and what that means is just non-digestive stuff like weak bones or skin disorders or eye problems or arthritis. And so what all that is to say, um, that you should, if you're smoking and you have Crohn's disease, you should definitely look into quitting, um, because more than likely it's gonna do a whole lot for to ease your symptoms, in addition to all the other therapies that you may be on to cope. Um, and so yeah, so according to the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, in non-smokers, Crohn's appears milder. Um, and once you have stopped smoking for a year, which I plan on doing, it's my goals. Is it that the chances of flare up may be as low as for someone with Crohn's who has never smoked in the first place, and so that would be a dream. That would make me really really happy to definitely reduce my symptoms. And so also, so it's kind of a intersection, that I'm also a African American guy, and so smoking has a unique impact on the African American community, in that 66% of African American children are exposed to secondhand smoke, according to the CDC. Um, and that number drops to about 45% in African American adults that are 20 years or older. And as a ethnic group, African American non-smokers, people who do not smoke, generally have a higher indicator of recent exposure to tobacco smoke than other non-smokers of other ethnicities or races, which actually I find really interesting. So just because you're an African American means that you probably have some tobacco in your system. Um, now, as far as quitting, uh, African Americans like myself, we try, um, more so than other ethnicities and races to actually quit, and we also say that we want to quit more often than other people, but we're less successful in quitting because of lack of access to resources and and some other institutional problems that prevent lack of access to proper counseling and medication and other solutions. And so, and not only that, uh, African Americans or black people or black and brown people are, um, you know, heavily marketed to, as far as nicotine products. And tobacco companies have historically placed a large amount of advertising in African American publications. Um, so actually, African American youth and adults actually are exposed to more cigarette and tobacco and nicotine ads than white or Caucasian or other ethnicities. And so there's definitely a reason why different populations have different rates of usage than others. Um, and also there's been some research that's showing that menthol cigarettes, which were like my choice, when I was smoking, maybe more addictive than non-menthol cigarettes, which is interesting. And so there's, and of course there's price promotions and marketing discounts and coupons and stuff that makes smoking that much more attractive too for different populations and stuff. And so and so what I what I really find interesting about smoking is that for me it was although going all the way back to when I was 19 and probably started dabbling in that when I was probably 16 or 17 is that you know initially you're experimenting with that kind of stuff, but as I got older it was more of a mental health anxiety kind of a fix. And so I actually did a little research on that too, and that actually you may think it's helping your mental health, but there's a very possibility that's doing the opposite. And this is not scientific for me, but it's more like anecdotal. But I've definitely noticed in all my years of smoking that the people that I'm around aren't necessarily happy people. And so there's always some kind of issue in their lives that they kind of turn to smoking to make themselves feel better. And I kind of resolved to find healthier outlets instead of always going back to smoking, because it kind of felt like to me that smoking was one of those things where if you're drinking poison hoping the other person dies, it's a self-destructive behavior that I'm trying that I struggle now to really see the benefit behind, because really it's expensive. It may be a few dollars a day, or $5 or $6 a day depending on where you live, but that definitely adds up. That's money that could be used for more fun things, and like savings, or going out and buying something for yourself, treating yourself to something healthy, something fun. And so so as far as smoking and stress, the idea that people smoke cigarettes to help ease the signs and symptoms of stress is known as self-medication. And self-medication comes in a variety of forms. But for the purposes of this show, we're just talking about tobacco, but people do alcohol or caffeine or sugar or harder drugs, or there's a lot of ways people self-medicate to just to try to ease the symptoms of whatever they're going through, and that may just be from a lack of access to care. And so and as far as anxiety goes, which is something that I used to use tobacco for, the feeling of relaxation, or the reduction in stress and anxiety from smoking is fleeting and temporary, and soon gives those same withdrawal symptoms and increased cravings come back. And so it's kind of a never-ending cycle, which is why it's so difficult to quit. And so I actually read somewhere this source I actually don't remember off the top of my head. I think it was on Reddit, a Reddit comment section, but it was saying that this person was addicted to alcohol, addicted to cocaine, addicted to nicotine, and out of the three, nicotine was the hardest to quit. And so it makes me feel good that I've been I'm a week out from quitting. This is definitely not my first time trying to quit, and so this show is is my own therapy to try to help me and anybody else out there that's struggling to quit, because I can definitely empathize with how tough it is, and I sincerely hope you can quit, and I want you to quit, because the people that love you need you in their lives. And so that's going to wrap up my show today. If you guys like what you heard, I would greatly appreciate your support. Please subscribe to my show. Follow me on Instagram at Crohn's Veteran. That's CROHNSVETERAN. You can check me out on LinkedIn also. You can shoot me an email at jordan@crohnsveteran.com. Of course, I'm looking for feedback. What you guys think about the show. Any insight to help me make it better is greatly appreciated. You guys stay safe out there, and and have a great day. Bye bye.